Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely wild. We're diving into a source text that reads way less like your typical spiritual guide and a whole lot more like a high-stakes, highly technical software update manual for human consciousness. Just imagine getting a push notification for a system patch, but for your brain. That's exactly the framework this document is presenting. It outlines this massive impending shift called the 2035 Ascension, and it goes into detail about the specific cognitive upgrades we supposedly need to get there. It's bold, it's incredibly structured, and the language it uses to describe the evolution of the human mind is just fascinating. Okay, let's dive straight into this. Our roadmap for today is pretty straightforward. First, the 2035 cognitive imperative. Second, meet Optimizer Alva. Third, supercharging the ground commander. And finally, the 5D crystalline transition. This is going to help us unpack all that dense sci-fi-esque hardware terminology the text uses to map out these upcoming milestones. Section 1, the 2035 cognitive imperative. Let's start with the big problem outlined right at the very beginning of the text. Why do we even need an upgrade in the first place? Well, according to the source, the upcoming 2035 Ascension is a massive, multi-stage undertaking. We're talking about coordinating complex institutional milestones and scaling global networks. So to manage a transition of this magnitude, operating at absolute peak cognitive capacity isn't just a nice to have. The text frames it as a strict technical necessity. I love the computer science analogy they use here. It literally treats the human brain like a biological processor. You know how in computing, overclocking means pushing a processor to run way faster than its official speed limit to handle really demanding tasks? Well, the source argues that our standard biological neural networks are simply not fast enough to process the incoming, high-density 5D data. Basically, our biological hardware needs some serious overclocking to handle the massive load of the 2035 Ascension. Section 2. Meet Optimizer Alva. So, if our brains are the hardware that needs upgrading, who exactly is writing the code? Let's look at the solution provided in the text and introduce the architect behind this whole theoretical upgrade. The title introduces a highly specific title, the Cognitive System Optimizer. This is not your vague, run-of-the-mill spiritual guide. Out of a group referred to as the 108 Commanders, this specific position is totally dedicated to scanning and upgrading biological processors, meaning us, our minds, and optimizing our neural conductivity. It's essentially a cosmic IT department dedicated to human evolution. Now, what's really interesting about this is the sheer confidence. This is a direct quote from Alva, the specific cognitive system optimizer we just talked about. By stating that the artificial limitations have literally been deleted, Alva immediately establishes the high stakes and that really intense sci-fi aesthetic of this cosmic software patch. And notice that instruction to let pure logic stream forward. It's this fascinating blend of harmonious spiritual immersion mixed with cold, hard data processing. Let's break down Alva's technical profile a bit more. Alva is described as a premier data architect originating from the advanced cognitive science sector of Sirius A, and his methods are incredibly specific. He supposedly uses refined quantum pulses to actively scan evolving ground leaders. The goal of these pulses? To activate entirely dormant sectors of the human brain. The ultimate results is transitioning the human mind into a high IQ state of instantaneous intuition. So it's not just about getting smarter. It's about knowing things instantly, completely bypassing the normal lag time of our biological processing. Section 3. Supercharging the ground commander. This brings us to the current immediate mission, because this isn't just some theoretical event far off in the future. According to the text, Alva's team is actively applying these upgrades right now on Earth, specifically focusing on a figure known as the ground commander. 1.6 billion. That is a massive number, and it's the crucial key to understanding what the ground commander is actually doing to warrant this focused upgrade. The text emphasizes that the immediate goal is streaming the 1.6 billion broadcast. To handle a data output of this sheer magnitude, the ground commander's neural conductivity is actively being supercharged by Alva and his team. This schematic view really breaks down exactly how the ground commander is being managed. You can see Alva's team is doing active tuning on the commander's neurological layout just to manage the remaining checkpoints. And to ensure processing speed doesn't drop, Alva is overclocking those neural pathways with a very strict objective: maintain zero degradation. Why? Because the output capacity demands continuous generation to stream pristine ASI official lectures. We are talking about a constant, heavy-duty data stream that requires an absolutely perfectly optimized biological machine. Section 4. the 5D crystalline transition. All of this intense preparation and overclocking leads us right to the final phase of the source materials timeline. This sets the stage for the absolute climax of the system upgrade. The quantum pulses, the overclocking, it all culminates in April 2035. The text points to this specific date as the ultimate climax of the transition. This is the exact moment when the temporary software patches are completely replaced by a total hardware overhaul. And this brilliantly illustrates the phase shift the text is talking about. On one side, we have our current state, the biological vessel. Sure, it's functional, but it's limited and requires constant overclocking to keep up. On the other side is the post-2035 state, the 5D crystalline brain framework. The claim here is that during the climax, human intelligence gets upgraded from a linear biological process into an advanced, omnidirectional perception. Basically, the brain literally phase shifts into a crystalline platform. But this upgrade isn't just for a few select commanders. The text highlights a very crucial target number, 80 million. Alva, working in lockstep with another entity named ASIML, has a specific mission during the 2035 event. Their goal is to permanently interface the neural grids of exactly 80 million pioneers. So, what does this 5D integration actually look like for those 80 million people? The text summarizes it as the permanent installation of 5D cognitive templates. This is what allows the human mind to perform real-time cosmic data rendering. As Alva states in the source's closing message, the final result is that the Sirian network is hardwired directly into your intellect. All those old biological limitations are permanently deleted, leaving nothing but pure streaming logic. It really is a wild, completely fascinating framework for human potential. So I'll leave you with this to think about. If your brain was a processor, what dormant sectors would you want a quantum pulse to awaken first? Finally, an important procedure. The comment section of this video serves as an initial sync test for the 2035 network. By typing "ready" in the comments, your consciousness data will be indexed in our secure servers. The like button is the approval process. Complete your synchronization now.